So, good afternoon or evening. It feels more like evening as the light is beginning to fade for us here on the hill. We've been here for a good couple of hours at least, and you may have noticed we can now see Kate over what was once an absolute behemoth pile of deadwood. That is because we have fitted the chainsaw to the Draper tool, which is our 4-in-1 brush cutter, strimmer, hedge trimmer and little chainsaw. And what would you say, Kate?
It's brilliant. Literally, I've moved from this area to here. We're filling up the log store, and come check it out.
Yeah? So I'm just going to walk very slowly because it's quite slippery.
Yeah, you'll slip.
So this is our little chainsaw. It's not much bigger than the length of my hand. We have tensioned the chain on it, and it has been going through all of this in literal slices. We're just slicing through it, and it's doing very well, isn't it? Remarkably well.
We just started from one end, and we're just cutting slowly through the rest, and it's
exactly.
really fun. I think we should get like a handheld one next year, but for safety purposes, we thought at least it's on a pole. You know, we're not going to be shy of it with that length, but by next year we should be confident handling a chainsaw.
So whilst Kate's doing this, so as she's going, she's cutting it up, giving the chainsaw a bit of a rest and picking it up, putting it in the wheelbarrow. We're then lifting the wheelbarrow up and we're actually filling up our wood store finally, which is just in there. You might not be able to see it. It's got Kate's yellow coat on top of it. So that's where it's going. And then any more will be put in one of our big log bags. So when we had our delivery at home, they gave us the ton bags for free, so we can fill those up. And for now, we'll probably put them just in the polytunnel, but eventually we will season them somewhere safer. We've got plenty of pallets anyway, courtesy of our very friendly neighbours just down the road from us. And of course we can get more, so that's another project, is to build more log stores. And I've also had a bit of a brainwave. So I've been starting my job of clearing the middle bed. This is one of the original beds right at the beginning when we first started. I've given the green gauge plum a little bit more room to breathe. Some of the raspberries are over and done with. We've got a lot of different varieties here, but the ones I've left are still fruiting, and these ones are the golden autumn variety, so we could see fruit on these right up until the mid to end of November, so it's really prolific. So I'm doing that, thinning out some of the mint and cutting back the black currants. There's one there, there's a red currant down here, just cutting them back to their buds, so they'll be ready for next year. So my plan was for this little area just up here, this gap that's not really being used next to the wood store. Now, what I was planning to do was to create another compost bin, and perhaps one just here where the tomatoes were. So there's like a little sack of tomatoes were there. And so rather than carrying all of this good stuff all the way up to the top compost, we have various little compost heaps, little box compost heaps on each terrace. So as I'm clearing this, I can just put it straight over the fence into the compost. It can be turned, and then basically the doors are opened when it's ready and you just rake it out onto the beds. And I think Kate would agree that would probably work really well.
I think so, definitely. And
It's a thumbs up. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on clearing. It does look suddenly very bare. And I'd like to show you as well that I have been working on the honeysuckle. So a little while ago we had a storm and this entire trellis collapsed, and it did actually uproot the honeysuckle, only a little bit, but it's luckily survived. So this has all been shored up now, and I've just been cutting back the growth because it seemed almost like it went into shock and sent up a lot of growth, and it was too bushy, you couldn't get through here. So what I'm doing, I'm using a very basic principle. I'm finding the main stem and finding any growth off that. Now I want to keep it about the length of my thumb, okay? Any longer than that is going to impede. So I want to keep it quite tight to the actual structure. They say around about 10 centimetres is fine, but I like mine a little bit shorter so it's more bushy, and this will then be wound round and strengthen up this entire frame. So eventually I'm actually going to add in a panel of sort of fortified galvanised wire here. Chicken wire would do it, and I want it basically to cover this entire area. So in the end, I want to have a little bench just down here. So in the summer, when the sun's beating down above us, because it does, we're south facing, it gets very hot, we've got a little place that we can sit and just recuperate. So that's another plan. I'm also just working on this bed down here. So this is from the top of the area I've been doing. So thin out the mint. I'm going to have to thin out the dahlias a little bit, though they're still flowering. And you wouldn't believe it, I didn't actually take up my dahlias. A lot of people who have dahlias always say take them up, bring them in, store them in sawdust or good compost and thick loam in a pot somewhere warm. I didn't. I literally just covered them with about 4 inches of straw. And it seemed to have worked because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tubers that are 2 years old. So these were bought from Wilko's, you know, rest in peace Wilko's, we'll never see you again probably, for very, very cheap. They were in the reduced pile and they've taken, so they're beautiful, but I'm hoping to propagate a lot more dahlias down here. So yes, a few more projects. 1 compost bin up here on this gap, next one there and another one there, so then we can literally just put all of this over and we can start actually developing compost heaps that are where they need to be, because that at the moment, that one, it's not really well situated. However, that is now going to be used to feed the polytunnel. In fact, it will be polytunnels. We are going to go for a much longer one that will probably extend down to, you can probably just about see it, that tree there where that lamppost is, that tree there. So it'll be a very, very long one. We'll just basically bolt the new frame onto it and get some of that really strong white plastic. So it'll be a very, very long greenhouse / polytunnel. And then we also want to build up a raised bed right up against this bank and just have a load of topsoil delivered with a claw, just dumped straight in there, which we can then just plant straight into. So yes, plenty to get on with. Of course, autumn is a time of clearing some dead growth. Of course, I'm trying to leave a lot of the leaves and loam on the ground as best I can because of ground nesting bees. They need it to survive the winter frosts. If you take it up, you can actually kill off the hibernating bees, and then of course that is leading to a greater problem of biodiversity loss. So yeah, we're being very careful. Anyway, well done, Kate. Any last words? Oh, my turn to chainsaw. Trusting me with something sharp and dangerous. I mean, I have to be honest, I have a bit of a phobia of chainsaws, only because when I was a child we had a tree surgeon come and work on our land, and he had this big scar right up near his neck, and I asked him about it, and he said on a job a few years ago the chain had come off his chainsaw, swung round like a flail and embedded itself in basically into his collarbone, and he was very lucky to be alive. Ever since then I've had a bit of a phobia of them. I didn't catch that on film, luckily. You're saved, your dignity is saved. She just landed on her bum. So yes, we're going to start up the chainsaw and try and get this pile down to barely anything. If we're lucky we might get the whole lot done today, but if not, it's very little left to do. Honestly, this is like 2/3 down, isn't it?
Oh, big time, yeah.
Yeah.
It's out you, isn't it?
Anyway, as usual, I always like to say thank you to our supporters, people who are following us. Please like and share, and if you'd like to request any particular information about what we're doing here or any up and coming projects, please do just get in touch. Also, we have quite a few friends who have been approaching us recently regarding land, and of course what we'd say about purchasing land: take your time. The right piece of land will kind of find you, which is kind of sounds strange, but honestly it does. You will know when it's right for you. Don't go for something that's too big for perhaps the number of people that are going to be managing it. Not too big, not too small, just right. Basically the Goldilocks.
Although we
yes.
wouldn't mind an extra acre, would we?
No, we wouldn't mind an extra acre, but that might happen in the future. So yes, and if you are interested in perhaps buying your own land but would like to have a go or see what it's like for perhaps a day managing a smaller plot, please do come and visit us at Lavender Hill. We can give you the address, and come up and have a go and see what you think first. I think experience is absolutely fundamental, and of course You know, we wish everybody the best of luck with finding their own land and starting up their own projects. I think a tribe is forming, and it's a beautiful new reawakening of traditional techniques.
Well, even starting a window shelf garden as well.
Yes.
You know, even starting that
Yes.
can be just as gratifying.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
exactly. But anyway, on that note, thank you very much to all of our supporters. Please continue following Lavender Hill Farm. I need to go and help Kate with the wheelbarrow, so
Yes.
we will see you again soon.